Chair now recognizes Mr. Smith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for convening this extraordinarily important hearing. And Mr. Procurator General, thank you for your leadership, your testimony. 78,000 war crimes, I mean, that is outrageous. And the fact that the ICC only just a few weeks ago finally brought action against two individuals, as you said, the so-called Commissioner for Children's Issues and, of course, Putin, in a very, very narrow but important area of focus, to me speaks volumes of the lack of response by the international community when it comes to accountability. A year ago, on March 8th, I chaired a hearing of the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission talking about the need for accountability and bringing a resolution to the United Nations that would do what? Not at the Security Council, but in the General Assembly, to have a tribunal on the war crime of aggression. I asked, and I introduced a resolution within a couple of days of that, asking that the administration use its voice and vote at the UN, and any country in the UN can bring such a resolution to bring this war of aggression tribunal into existence. I had David Crane, the procurator, a man who prosecuted war crimes against Charles Taylor, at a hearing a year ago, and he said the General Assembly could create this. It could do it immediately. You're not going to get it to the Security Council. It'll be vetoed by China and by Russia. But it can happen in the General Assembly. So I think, especially based on your incredible work that you're doing, the world has to unite behind such a tribunal. That fact that only two people, they're not the only two who are responsible. You know, even Lukashenko perhaps should be included in that list, but certainly all of these generals and the people that are on the ground committing these horrific war crimes need to be named, indicted, and then brought to trial, like you said, with the War Crimes Tribunal at Nuremberg. So I would ask you, again, all of us, to redouble our efforts to create such an ad hoc tribunal. You know, you look at the ICC, 20 years of existence, over 20 years, they've had 10 convictions. They don't have a stellar track record. I'm glad they've done what they've done, but they don't have a great track record, and they do it very narrowly. They should have done this immediately. We were calling for that. I was calling for that. That's the reason why I had the hearing and the resolution. And so I just would call on all of us, and I know you're doing the hard work. You know, it shouldn't be the country that's being so horribly and cruelly mistreated fall to you to be the accountability mechanism, and yet you're doing it. So following your inspiration, we need an ad hoc tribunal, and we need it now. And I hope that the administration, ours, or any other country that's concerned, would table a resolution at the General Assembly to establish such a tribunal. And your thoughts?
Thank you so much. Thank you for your absolute commitment to ensure full accountability for the aggressor, including for the crime of aggression. And thank you for your understanding that it should be done internationally with wide range of countries supporting this tribunal. We absolutely agree that one of the ways of establishment of this tribunal could be the resolution of General Assembly of United Nations, which will give the right to the Secretary General of United Nations to sign an agreement with Ukraine and to establish international tribunal. Right. We're standing for this position, and we will proceed our communication with all our partners, friends and allies in order to reach this proper solution for the international tribunal. Coming back to the work with our work with the ICC, I will tell you frankly that the speed of reaction of the prosecutor of the ICC in these cases, in the war crimes committed in Ukraine, is unbelievable. Good. It was nothing before. This case, which was filed by the prosecutor Karim Khan to the ICC, and where ICC issued an arrest warrant, I will tell you, it took us 5 months to prepare this case. This is very speedy manner of work, because we prosecutors, we need to prepare the case. We have no right to lose this case. No one can imagine that it could be happen. That's why we need to be very careful. We have other cases under our consideration. And it's important that in our situation, Ukraine fully cooperated with the International Criminal Court. In some cases before, in the history of the ICC, they tried to overcome the resistance of national authorities. And even the ICC was created for the cases where national government is unwilling or unable to prosecute war crimes committed in their countries. We are willing and we are able. And we are grateful for the ICC that first case they filed before the international, we are grateful for the prosecutor Khan, that first case they filed before the ICC is fully complementary in its nature, because we can't prosecute Putin because of his immunity. And this first case includes Putin and Lvova Belova, and other cases will follow, be sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey. We now